Pagi, Kenneth. Oke, kita tunggu dulu. 9 lebih 5 menit, nanti kita mulai join ya. Kita mulai ini ya webinarnya. Kita tunggu teman-teman yang lain, karena masih banyak nih, bisa lihat di waiting room.
No way, no way, no.
Oke, sepertinya udah masuk semua ya, Miss Nisa ya.
Bisa dimulai aja, Miss. Boleh.
Oke, kita mulai ya. Selamat pagi semua untuk Kiddos dan juga Mom and Dad yang sudah hadir di webinar ketiga kita hari ini. Perkenalkan, saya Miss Manda. Saya di sini akan menjadi MC atau host dari acara webinar series kita yang ketiga hari ini. Oke, Miss lihat di sini, wah, udah banyak nih partisipannya ya. Ada kiddos, ada mom and dad gitu. Miss harap semuanya dalam keadaan sehat ya, dalam keadaan baik semua. Gimana nih? Ada yang sudah, mungkin Miss mau tanya-tanya dikit dulu nih sebelum kita mulai. Ada yang lagi PAS nggak? Atau lagi ujian minggu ini?
Belum.
Boleh open mic?
Belum,
Aku
Miss.
awal
Kenneth?
Desember aku AS.
Oh, ada yang awal Desember juga. Oke. Wah, nanti good luck ya untuk PAS-nya yang nanti awal Desember atau nanti yang sudah, oh ada yang mulai hari Senin, oke. Nanti good luck untuk semua yang akan ujian semester, entah itu di minggu depan atau nanti di awal Desember. Oke, oh ya, Kenneth minggu depan. Semoga semuanya berjalan lancar ya ujiannya. Oke, sekarang Miss mau kasih tahu nih, kita di sini, Miss di sini nggak sendirian nih, Miss Mana nggak sendirian di acara kali ini. Miss Mana di sini ngundang ada dua pembicara kita, itu yang bisa bagi-bagi nih untuk pengalaman mereka terkait Code for sebelumnya. Miss punya, eh, Alvan nggak punya Pictoblox, nanti kita ini dulu ya Alvan ya. Alvan bisa download dulu Pictoblox-nya. Oke, Miss mau eh, ini dulu, mau perkenalkan dulu. Di sini Miss ada sama, kita panggilnya apa ya? Kakak kali ya, Kak Alet ya dan kalian. Oke, boleh kita lihat dulu mana Kak Alet ya dan kalian nih. Eh, halo kalian dan Kak Alet ya. Hai, oke.
Halo
Good
Kak.
morning.
Halo.
Oke. Nah, sebelumnya Miss mau perkenalin dulu nih. Siapa sih sebenarnya kalian sama Kak Alete ya? Oke, Miss mulai dari kalian dulu ya. Kalian itu adalah pemenang dari kategori Code Girls atau Award Code Girls dari Code for 6.0 gitu. Dan kalau Kak Alete, siapa sih Kak Alete ya sebenarnya? Kak Alete ya itu adalah pemenang kedua dari Junior Group Track 1 di Code for 6.0 gitu. Nah, hari ini Kak Aletea dan kalian akan bagi-bagi nih sharing-sharing pengalaman mereka terkait Code for 6.0 dan juga apa sih tips and tricks gitu. Gimana sih untuk how to pitch your idea gitu. Gimana sih caranya untuk mungkin ya strategi-strategi kecil lah dari Kak Aletea dan kalian. Oke, Miss mau tanya dulu Kak Aletea kalian gimana untuk kabarnya hari ini? Sudah siap belum untuk kasih tips and trick, sharing-sharing pengalaman kalian ke Kidus dan Mom and Dad di sini?
Tentu saja siap dong Kak.
Oke, gimana kalian ya kalian?
Siap. Udah siap banget Kak.
Udah siap ya? Oke, sebelum kita mungkin menunggu lebih lama gitu ya, kita boleh mulai dulu nih. Mungkin kita mulai dari siapa dulu? Kalian ya atau kalian dulu nih yang mau mulai nih? Yo. Kalau misalkan itu mungkin kita mulai dari mungkin kita tanya dulu nih ke Kak Aletea. Silakan Kak Aletea. Kak Aletea hari ini mau ngomongin apa sih di webinar kali ini?
Tentang how to pitch an idea effectively.
Oke, wah. Oke, Kidos bisa dengerin ya sharing-sharingnya Kak Aletea hari ini. Pasti yang pastinya akan berguna banget nih untuk Kidos-Kidos yang mau coba track satu gitu ya. Atau yang mungkin sudah daftar track satu. Bisa didengerin dulu untuk pengalamannya Kak Aletea. Oke, Kak Aletea sudah siap?
Siap.
Oke, silakan Kak Aletea untuk dimulai untuk sharingnya.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Alatea. I'm one of the student ambassadors of Codify 7.0. Basically, I've joined Codify twice. My first time at the Codify 5.0, I went to the national round. For my second time, I won the second place in the national round, and I went to the global round in Qatar. It was a very cool opportunity for me. And today, I'm going to tell you how to pitch an idea effectively. But before we get into that, let me tell you a little story. When I was 4, I had one mission in life: get a bicycle. Every time my parents took me to Hypermart, I would walk straight to the bicycle section and hold the exact one I wanted. I thought I was being obvious with them. My parents apparently did not get the memo. But I wasn't giving up that easily. So, on our next visit, I grabbed a Hypermart brochure. My mom thought I was helping her look for discounts, like a tiny 4-year-old assistant. But what I was really doing was pointing at the picture of the bicycle in the brochure again and again. Lucky for me, the bike was on sale. I showed my brochure to my dad. He immediately understood my secret plan. But of course, he needed approval from my mom. And when my mom saw that big red discount label, she finally said yes. Yay! That was the day I got my bicycle. And the day I learned something important. If you want people to understand your idea, you need the right strategy to communicate it. Even at 4 years old, I guess I already knew how to pitch. So, what does pitching really mean? Pitching means explaining your idea in a way people get it fast and actually want to support it. A good pitch feels like telling your friends about a cool game, but with more structure. Second, why does your idea need a strategy? So, people don't automatically understand what's inside our head, of course. Our idea might be brilliant, but if we can't explain it clearly, it's like a locked treasure box nobody can open. That's why we need a strategy. Just like 4-year-old me holding a Hypermart brochure and pointing at the bicycle over and over. I wasn't just hoping my parents would understand. I had a plan. Good ideas need more than enthusiasm. They also need clear words, simple, easy structure, a reason people should care about the idea, and the right strategy to make your idea land. So, what kind of strategies help when pitching? To pitch your idea well, there are a few simple strategies that actually work. First, know exactly what you want to say. If your idea is still messy in your head, it will come out as messy when you talk. A clear pitch always starts with a clear mind. Second, keep it short and direct. People lose focus fast. A good pitch feels like a quick story, clean, sharp, and easy to follow. Third, show, don't just talk. Use a picture or a small demo or maybe a quick story. When people can see your idea in their imagination, they'll understand it faster. Fourth, add a little emotion. Excitement, curiosity, humor, or a good attention grabber, anything that makes the audience feel something. People don't just remember information, they also remember feelings. And of course, I used the same strategy when I presented my project at Codify 6.0 last year. The first one is starting with an attention grabber that makes people feel something. This is the same as adding emotion. An attention grabber pulls the audience in. It makes them care from the beginning. The second strategy is keeping the introduction short and clear. This matches the idea of keeping things simple and direct. So the audience doesn't get lost before we even begin. Then there's even showing a live demo, letting the judges see the idea in action. This follows the show, don't just talk principle, because seeing something work is always more powerful than hearing long explanations. Did you know that I also used an attention grabber at the very beginning of my presentation? Well, is there anyone that here who remembers that what attention grabber I used? If you know it, you can type your answer in the Zoom chat. Does anyone know? Yes, the bicycle story. You're right. So lastly, please remember, your ideas deserve to be heard. Even the smallest idea can grow into something meaningful. But it only grows when you communicate it well. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be clear with your idea. Just like 4-year-old me with the Hypermart brochure. Sometimes the strategy is all it takes for people to finally understand what you're trying to say. And once your idea is understood, that's when it starts to shine. This is, and don't forget to use my referral code KKSA Alatea when you register for Codify 7.0. Thank you.
The quote again. Sorry.
All photo. Here you go. Oh my God.
Oke, thank you Kak
Tidak.
Alete ya. Oke, sharingnya oke banget nih. Gimana sih caranya dapat atau menyampaikan ide kita ya Kak ya, dengan secara paling efektif. Oke, ada yang tanya nih, what is the registered code for? Oke, jadi Miss kalian mau kasih tahu dan Kak Alete ya boleh nih omongin lagi nih terkait referral code-nya. Jadi kalau misalkan Kidos mau mendaftar dengan mendaftar kode 7.0, nanti akan dapat nih pengisian referral code. Nah, Kidos bisa pakai referral code-nya Kaletea nih. Nanti apa sih yang akan Kidos dapat? Kidos nanti akan dapat diskon 10% untuk eh, biaya registrasinya. Oke banget kan? Nah, boleh dipakai nih. Kalau track 2 bisa nggak sih? Bisa. Nggak hanya track 1 aja kok, bisa track 2 juga gitu. Nah, Kak ya, Miss mau nanya sedikit boleh ya, sekalian ya.
Mm, yeah.
Oke. Kalau boleh tahu nih Kak ya nih, kalau pas kemarin 6.0, Kak ya bikin apa sih sebenarnya? Mungkin kan teman-teman di sini ada yang belum tahu nih.
Hmm. Saya buat itu Chippy Bot.
Oh, itu seperti apa sih Kak?
Itu AI chatbot. Ya,
Oh, wow.
seperti ini.
Oke. Boleh dijelasin nggak sih Kak, gimana nih uh, Cibibot ini bekerja gitu dan gimana sih Kak Aletea tuh dapat idenya gitu. Apalagi kemarin pas 6.0 Miss sempat lihat juga pas Kak Aletea itu presentasi. Oke banget. Gimana? Kak? Bisa
Hmm.
di-sharing nggak ke teman-teman?
So, Chippy Bot is an AI chatbot yang pakai CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. Dan ini targetnya untuk remaja juga. Dan di sini juga ada fun gamesnya seperti challenge dan ada juga friendship blueprint seperti ini Cipipotnya kasih tips jadi teman yang baik.
Thank you Kak Aletea. Oke, tapi gini Kak, aku mau Miss mau tanya dikit nih. Gimana sih kalau pas Kak ya kan udah beberapa kali nih mempresentasikan idenya gitu kan di Code 4.
Hmm.
Nah, itu ada nggak sih mungkin bisa sharing-sharing dikit ya Kak sekalian ya. Gimana sih eh, pas pengalaman pertamanya gitu. Apa sih yang mungkin Kak ya dari yang 5.0 ke 6.0 yang bisa dibilang, oh aku harus menambahkan ini nih supaya aku lebih bagus atau gimana? Ada nggak sih
Hmm.
yang
May I use
mungkin
English to explain it?
oh ya sure.
Hmm. So from the first Code for 5.0 I joined, I realized most of the other projects were more complex and their ideas were clear. And mine, I think, could say it wasn't clear. So I decided when I joined the Code for 6.0, I have to explain my idea clear so the judges and the audience can understand my idea. And I made my project even more complex so that idea can land.
Oke, oke. Nah, terus Kak, kalau pas lagi mempresentasikan idenya nih, mempresentasikan proyeknya, ada nggak sih mungkin kendala atau mungkin hal-hal yang kalian ya bisa bilang, aduh, aku seharusnya nggak gini nih gitu. Pernah nggak kayak gitu?
And when I was asked, like, does this AI chatbot only use English? That was one of the negative sides that I need to improve on.
Oke, ya ampun. Jadi walaupun apa namanya, walaupun ini tetap ada kendala ya Kak, tapi yang pastinya kalian kan belajar dari kendala-kendala tersebut ya. Gimana
Yeah.
caranya lebih baik. Oke, ini ada Kyle yang apa namanya, raise
Uh,
hand mungkin.
can you give us
Mm-mm.
a demonstration?
Oh, demonstration.
Oke, silakan nih Khalid ya.
Oh, wait. Let me stop my share screen for a bit to find it.
Ini tiba-tiba ada yang minta demonstration. It's okay ya Kak ya. Kita biar lihat juga nih ide yang kayak gimana sih gitu. Siapa tahu mungkin bisa bantu teman-teman yang lain nih untuk cari ide juga. Silakan Kak. Hmm.
May I use a video for it?
Oke, it's okay.
This is only short 4 minutes, so I hope you're ready.
Gak apa-apa, mungkin Kak Aletnya bisa sekalian jelasin ya. Atau udah ada penjelasannya di videonya, Kak?
Ini bisa kedengaran nggak? Wait, belum deh.
Coba di play dulu.
Excuse me ya.
It's okay.
Kedengaran. I'll make this a bit faster, so let's get straight to the AI chatbot.
Hmm, let's say something like I'm super sad. My friend called me silly. Let's see Dr. Beethoven's response. Ooh, his response is based off CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Here, there's no judgment at all, just support here. In GBot, there's many other features, like the friendship blueprint, which is a guide to being a great friend. Let's try it. Next, we have the friendship quest. In this friendship quest, we get to play a mini game where you make decisions and learn from the outcome. Let's try it. Let's start with this question. You may read it. Let's say B. Oh, here we learn from the outcome here. He explains it in full detail. Let's say A now, because it's correct. It's a great choice. Next, we have the offline friendship mission.
That's a brief demonstration of my project report.
Thank you, Kak Aletnya. Udah sharing nih gimana sih projectnya bekerja dan lain-lain. Ide awalnya gimana sih, Kak? Kok bisa bikin Cibibot ini?
Hmm, awalnya, let me use English now because
Iya.
the idea is quite big. So when I started, I thought of an AI chatbot, like an assistant that can talk to you, because I remembered like, wait, some of my friends are as lucky as me, and maybe they need a friend to talk. So I decided to make this AI chatbot Chibot.
Wah, dan ini full berarti pakai PictoBlox aja ya Kak ya?
Yeah.
Full software. Oke, great. Idenya oke banget sih Kak. Ini kita butuh nih untuk mungkin ya ada teman-teman yang butuh temen ngobrol dan lain-lain gitu kan. Bisa menggunakan Cibibot ini ya berarti ya. Oke, thank you Kak Aletea. Nanti kita balik lagi sama Kak Aletea ya untuk di
Yeah.
sesi Q&A. Oke. Sekarang Miss mau pindah ke kalian nih. Hai kalian.
Halo Kak,
Oke, kalian nih mungkin sudah siap belum untuk apa namanya untuk sharing-sharing ke Kidos dan teman-teman lain di sini.
tentu aja aku udah siap, tapi aku habis ini mau nyiapin, I'm gonna prepare the presentation first, really
Oke,
shortly.
oke, silahkan, silahkan. Ya, mungkin kalian sambil eh, prepare untuk presentasinya, boleh dijelasin dulu nih sedikit profilnya kalian.
Oke, tentu aja boleh Kak. Wait, let me share my screen. Okay, is my screen present on can be seen from the device? Apakah presentasi aku udah terlihat?
Sudah, sudah terlihat ya, aman.
Oke, kita sambil nunggu loadingnya karena di sini kayaknya sedikit loading. Ah, ini aja deh kalau gitu. Okay. Okay. First of all, I'm very sure that all of you are very excited to be here today in today's webinar. Therefore, please allow me to introduce myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Lian Kalista Alexandra. I'm the Code Girl Award recipient from the Codeoverse 6.0. And this year, I am the Codeoverse 7.0 student ambassador. And today, the topic that I will bring in today's webinar is about how ideas can be easily implemented. But maybe before we step into the topic a bit more, I would like to first introduce a little bit of background about me. And here, so this is a little bit of my background about my achievements. There are a lot of competition that I have joined previously before Codeover, and most of the competition sometimes surrounds in maybe debating, maybe in coding, and etc. And with this background, I am very excited today to be here to share to you guys about how ideas can be easily implemented and how in the future, if you guys want to join Codeover 7.0, you can implement my tips here so that you can create the best project that you can. Okay, first, let's talk about ideas. Let's talk about how ideas can be realized. I'm sorry, please wait for a moment. Okay, so now most of you probably wonder, Kak, this is my first time joining Codeover. I have no idea where can I find ideas to make a project for Codeover. So maybe some might ask, Kak, how do you find ideas for projects? Nah, maybe a lot of you guys wonder. Tapi the most important thing to start off is to look all around you, to see apa yang ada di sekitar kalian. What does this mean? So basically, when it comes to finding the ideas for a project, one of the most important thing is to observe what's around you. Why? Why do we have to observe what's around us? Because usually it's the idea of a project comes from the problems, the inconvenience that you have in your daily life, or maybe the inconveniences that your friends or maybe your parents or your loved ones experience in their daily life. And why is this important? Because sometimes when we try to approach things from a really wide perspective, then sometimes it can be quite difficult to find, what are the things that I should solve in this world? What are the things that I should make a solution out of? Now, with looking the things around you, you can see the simple mistakes or maybe the simple problems that you can fix. And after that, you can develop an idea to solve the problem itself. And what are the things that you need to consider when choosing an idea? First, you have to when you're observing the things around you, you have to be you have to be you have to somewhat be sensitive. What does it mean to be sensitive? It means that you have to be cautious and you can easily notice if there's any things that makes you inconvenient or there are things that makes you feel not necessarily happy with. For example, you see the the neighborhood around you, let's say, has a lot of trash being thrown all over the places instead of into trash bin. Then what you can think of the idea is that, maybe I can make a trash bin that is a smart trash bin where it can have a lot of different bins for different types of trash, let's say. And with this kind of approach, then from a simple problem that you face in the real world, you can create a solution out of it. Now, when choosing an idea, of course, there are a lot of mental blocks that we can experience. For example, Kak, I think I want to solve a problem regarding this, but I don't know if I can do it because maybe I've never used PictoBlocks before. I've never coded before. Or maybe I don't know how to make the program. I don't know how to make the solution. I don't know how to translate my idea into a real product. Well, first, it's totally fine if you at first think that you may not be able to do certain things. Because the most important thing is never doubt yourself. Never doubt about your ability, never doubt about your ideas. Because just like what Aletia has explained before, that your ideas should be heard and your idea deserves to have the spotlight and deserves to be shared to others. Now, when choosing an idea, of course, what the things that you need to consider is that you need to follow the theme. Just like in this year's Codeover, the Codeover that I joined last year has a lot of themes, and usually the theme surrounds with the Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations. Now, when you guys decide to join this year's Codeover, I want you guys to check again the Sustainable Development Goals and also the themes that have been set by the committee of the competition. Why? Because by looking at the theme itself, it will help you sort of find the inspiration of, oh, maybe since this year's theme is about health, I can make something that solves the problem about health issues in society, let's say. Or maybe if this year's theme is about education, I can make an idea that's related to things about school life, to maybe about studying and etc. Or if the theme is maybe about something entertainment, let's say, entertainment, maybe fun, games, and etc., then you guys can think of an idea of, what game should I make? Or maybe what kind of entertainment media that can be used and can be incorporated with AI. And when you guys have decided on these ideas, what you guys should do next is to start planning on the project development. What does this mean? So, for a project to rise from the initial idea to the final project or the final product, you definitely need to make a proper planning. Let's say that you have an idea to create a project about health. And after you find the idea about the project, what you have to do is that you have to divide the project into several different aspects. For example, the first stage you want to do is to define what's the problem that is being faced by the society, for example, in the terms of health. Apa sih hal-hal yang lagi dihadapin, masalah yang lagi dihadapin di tengah masyarakat saat ini? Atau apa ya masalah yang bikin belajar itu kurang nyaman, yang bikin your friends feel discomfort in studying, let's say. After you guys have the idea and you can properly explain and properly give an explanation about the idea, what you guys have to do is create a plan on, how should I solve this problem? Let's say you want to build a project that helps students to study better. Then what you have to figure out is, what are the things that student need to study better? Let's say student need a place to write their notes, or student needs an assistant to, let's say, review their materials before a test. Then from these two ideas, let's say, you guys can develop it into like features inside of your project. And these features will later on become the core value and also the core mechanism inside of your application or inside of your Codiover project. And later on, after you guys make this project in PictoBlocks, and you guys will combine them into one single project, then this will become the final product of the project and the ones that you will submit to the competition. So, starting from the idea, and then moving on to the development process until reaching the final product of your Codiover project, this is how your ideas can be easily implemented and how something that you see from around you can actually be converted, be turned into an idea that can solve real world problems, real world issues. And that's the main purpose of Codiover competition, which is to ignite your innovation, your creativity, to look around you and see what are the things that we can solve as an individual, we can solve in the society, so that society will no longer experience a certain difficulty, a certain, let's say, a certain discomfort, and etc. And I think it would be really fun if I explain a little bit about my project in Codeover 6.0. And please allow me to switch my screen for a bit, yes?
Silakan kalian. Oke, kita akan lihat nih. Projectnya kalian yang dibikin di 6.0 ya kemarin ya.
Yes, betul sekali, Kak. Jadi, I will now begin explaining a little bit about my project in the Codeover 6.0. And I think one of the fun facts that I have not told in today's webinar is that Codeover 6.0 was actually my very first coding competition, because I actually started coding quite late, which is I started coding when I was in 10th grade, which is at the beginning of 2024. So for the audience, I think you can imagine that for someone like me to join a competition this big and this prestigious with a very minimal coding experience can sometimes be could be quite intimidating at first, because with the little amount of coding experience that I had previously, at first I thought that, oh, I think I didn't have a great chance of winning in this competition. But I will prove to you why, despite having maybe a little coding experience, or let's say you have not maybe recognize how to use PictoBlocks and etc., you can still have a shot in this. You can still have a great chance of performing well in this competition. So I will be explaining my idea. So what is my product in Codiover? My product is called C Compass. Well, C Compass is the acronym, it's the short of Career Compass. So what is Career Compass? I will begin my explanation on the so, Career Compass raised from a problem where I will read it for you guys. So, in this digital era, a lot of children are increasingly spending their time with gadgets to access content that is often less productive and has no educational value. And with a lot of children, let's say, playing or accessing contents that are not educationally beneficial for them, a lot of issues can raise. For example, they will experience the lack of exposure to future professions. What does this mean? This means that if you keep on scrolling TikTok, let's say, if you keep on scrolling Instagram, or if you keep on watching YouTube, but the contents that you watch are not related to educational things, then one thing that might happen is that you might not know about what are the career opportunities that you will be able to achieve later when you're older. And later, this will create also the imbalance between entertainment and learning. And also, with having a lot of children looking and watching less productive contents, the things that might happen is also regarding to the lack of awareness of environmental conservation, and also sometimes the lack of interactive and interesting learning media. That's why C Compass is established. So C Compass is basically an application. It's basically like a game where it incorporates interactive AI-powered game where you can discover various future professions while finding your passion and learning about the sustainable development goals. So, in this game specifically, there are three different places, like let's say three different occupations that you can try. You can go to the hospital, you can go to the factory, or you can go to the ocean. And in this three little mini games, uh, one sustainable development goal is discussed in this game. So this game is not only just for the entertainment purposes, but for the learning purposes, for you to learn about the occupations that are available when you're older, and also the things about what sustainable development goals, then you can learn it through my mini game. And okay, one of the things that I mentioned earlier is that the development process. So what you're seeing here right now is actually a real on paper sketch that I did for this Codeover project. That's why previously I told you that the development process of the Codeover project is very important because it's where you get to translate your idea into real project. And maybe a lot of people have a lot of different ways to translate their ideas into real project in PictoBlocks. However, my method of translating the idea into the project is by sketching on paper. As you can see here, I have made like sketches on like how would the how would the how would the visual of the game would look like, what are the pages that will be on the game. For example, we have the home page, we have like the city map, we have the skin, and we have the backdrop for the hospital, we have the backdrop for the factory, and we have also the backdrop for the ocean. And of course, in this development, oh sorry, in this development stage, you can also like explain in just like simple words, like in the main page, what should I include apart from the play button? Let's say that, oh, people need to know about the game. That's why I add here a little about us button. And then let's say in the city map, oh, I want the city map to include a button that can lead the player of my game to go to the hospital, to go to the factory, and also go to the ocean. That's why in the city map, you will notice that there are buttons here that leads you as the player to the different mini games. And these are basically the sketches that I made in the development process. And this will later on, I will show you my project, will be very, very similar to what's the final product of my project. And I will skip several page. And I will now switch to another page because FYI, guys, last year when I joined the national round, I also was asked to make like a website of the project. And now I will show you guys what my website look like because I'm sure that this will give you guys a really bigger picture regarding on my project about the C Compass game.
I've made a website before.
Well, that's interesting because if you have ever made a website before, then it would be very beneficial for Codeover because sometimes there are a lot of ways to present your ideas apart from presenting PowerPoints or presenting PPT. And website is one of the methods of presenting them. So that's actually a really good foundation. Now, I will begin presenting my website here. So here in my website, I'm sure that this is me here when I first developed my project in Kodekido, where I would usually bring my laptop and I would have paper around me because I just really have I just really need a media that I can write my ideas on because sometimes, guys, if you have ideas but you don't write them down, you can easily forget them. That's why, uh, whether you want to write it on your phone, on your device, or maybe you want to tell your mom, tell your dad about your idea, always make sure to write your idea down because if you don't and you forget them, you might actually lose the opportunity of creating a project from a really good idea. That's why I recommend you guys to always keep track of your progress on the project. Don't forget to write things down regarding on the development of the ideas. And here I'm gonna scroll down, and actually here this is an interesting part because apart from using PictoBlocks, I also use another website called Teachable Machine. So it's basically like how if you want to develop AI, then you have to train the AI with pictures so that the AI can differentiate, oh, what's the picture of a cat? What's the picture of a dog? And here is a picture of when I trained my machine for the game. As you can see here, there are a lot of pictures. And at the end, my project was actually quite large. That's why if you guys are developing an idea that is quite large, let's say, or maybe a quite that solves a lot of things and maybe quite a complex idea, then this is maybe the pemandangan or the visualization on what your development process of the project would look like, is to just train these pictures, train the machine to be intelligent, to be able to differentiate the things that you want to. And here is the game demonstration. So since the game is actually quite large, I'm not gonna open my PictoBox for it, but I have a GIF here, like a boomerang, let's say, to like show you how the project works. So my project here, from the camera, when it's turned on, it can track the movement of hands and lets you drag the pictures or drag the answer to the correct places. And here is basically the idea of my project and where I presented the idea in the national round of Codeover 6.0. So, what are the key takeaways from my presentation today? So, hopefully, from this presentation delivered by me, hopefully you guys can know better on how you can translate and how you can find ideas around you and how you can develop that idea into a really meaningful project that can solve real world problems and that aligns with the sustainable development goals. So, if you have any question, please don't be hesitant in asking it to me. And I'm very sorry for any words that I said incorrectly, or maybe if there are things that may not be as clear. I'm very sorry for that. But overall, I'm very happy to be able to present this material to you guys. And thank you very much.
Oke, thank you kalian. Wah, presentasinya benar-benar detail semua dan benar-benar dijelasin dari awal sampai akhir gitu ya. Oke, nah tadi nih ada, oh iya kalian, saya mau tanya nih, kalian sendiri ada ini nggak sih kan tadi Kak Alet ya ada kode referral. Kalian tadi kayaknya belum nyebut ini, ada nggak sih kode
Oh
referral?
yeah, of course. Aku juga punya kode referral. So for friends, if you guys want to register yourself to join the Codeover 7.0, don't forget to use my referral code. I'm gonna scroll it down. Ini dia. So, this is my referral code for you guys yang mau daftar untuk ikut Codeover 7.0. Boleh banget pakai kode referralnya aku because you guys will get a really good amount of discount kalau nggak salah ya, Kak.
So can I use both?
Yeah.
Enggak dong, hanya satu aja. Kalau pakai kode referralnya kalian boleh. Kode referralnya Kak Alet ya boleh. Pilih satu ya Kenneth ya.
Eh, em,
Oke, thank you kalian. Oke, nanti kalian sama Kak Alet ya kalau misalkan mau kirim fotonya di chat boleh banget ya. Jadi teman-teman yang lain biar nggak lupa juga nih atau langsung kirim di chat aja kode referralnya. Jadi teman-teman yang lain nggak lupa. Oke. Nah,
Miss,
tadi ada satu. Oh
kode
ya,
kode revolvernya itu buat apa? Kode refnya itu buat apa?
oke. Kode referralnya itu buat apa sih? Nah, untuk yang belum tahu, kode referral dari student ambassador kita itu untuk apa? Untuk supaya nanti teman-teman atau videos yang mau mendaftar untuk saya kode for 7.0 ini bisa pakai kode referralnya student ambassador kita supaya dapat diskon sebesar 10% dari uang registrasi yang ditentukan. Gitu. Oke. Nah, tadi ada salah satu kalimat dari kalian yang Miss suka banget nih. Buat kalian yang baru-baru, mungkin teman-teman nih baru pertama kali eh, ikut untuk kompetisi, gitu, kompetisi coding, dan mungkin awalnya nggak pede nih kayak, ah masa sih nanti aku menang nggak ya, gitu. Kalian buktinya udah buktiin gitu kan. Baru pertama kali ikut, terus menang. Betul kalian tadi kan ya.
Yes, betul banget, Kak.
Nah, berarti untuk teman-teman, untuk Hido, semua jangan khawatir. Bukan berarti ini pengalaman pertama kalian, terus, aduh kayaknya aku nggak bakal menang deh. Nggak ya, nggak kayak gitu. Mungkin siapa tahu ini kesempatan kalian, who knows, ya kan? Oke, thank you kalian. Nanti kita balik lagi ke kalian, bareng sama Kak Alet ya, saat sesi Q&A. Gitu. Sekarang Miss mau tanya nih untuk para kiddos atau teman-teman semua. Siapa yang belum daftar kode fornya?
Saya nggak tahu
Ayo.
caranya.
ini belum. Sama saya nggak tahu.
Udah.
Oke, ada yang udah, ada yang belum. Kayaknya tadi bilang belum ya, nggak tahu caranya. Oke, nah sekarang supaya teman-teman atau kiddos yang belum tahu caranya, Miss mau present sedikit nih. Miss mau jelasin sedikit terkait kode for 7.0 ini. Bentar ya. Oke. Untuk ininya Miss sudah kelihatan untuk layarnya.
Jadi Miss,
Kenapa?
daftarnya gratis atau harus bayar?
Gratis.
Daftarnya, daftarnya ada bayarnya. Gitu. Nah, nanti Miss jelasin ya. Oke. Buat yang belum tahu, Code for 7.0. Kita mulai dulu. Nah, untuk yang belum tahu, Code for 7.0 itu ada apa sih yang bisa dibikin atau ada berapa tracks yang ada. Dari tadi kan ada yang bilang apa sih track 2, apa sih track satu gitu. Track ini apa gitu. Nah, Miss jelasin dulu. Jadi, Code for 7.0 ini akan terbagi dua track ya, teman-teman ya. Track satu dan juga track 2. Perbedaannya apa sih? Mungkin di sini bisa kelihatan semua track satu Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Sedangkan kalau misalkan untuk track 2 itu Wellness Wave AI Robot Challenge. Yang membedakan ini kalau track satu Kidus nanti atau teman-teman bisa bikin project nih, seperti Kak Lian sama Kak Aletea gitu. Project membuat inovasi dari project entah itu project full software atau menggunakan hardware. Nah, kalau track 2 nanti teman-teman akan menggunakan robot Quarky untuk mengerjakan challenge. Tema kali ini tadi Kak Lian sempat bilang kita harus tahu dulu temanya apa sih yang dibuat sama tim Code 4. Oke, tema besar kali ini adalah Tech for a Healthier Tomorrow. Itu tema besarnya. Jadi nanti kalau misalkan Kido atau teman-teman yang lagi cari ide nih untuk tag satunya, jangan lupa untuk menyesuaikan dengan tema tersebut ya. Oke, ini kita ada subtemanya. Subtemanya di sini ada 5 subtema. Yang pertama itu ada Healthy Minds, Happy Life. Yang kedua ada Sustainable Eating, Healthy Living. Terus yang ketiga ada Move More, Live More. Yang keempat ada Clean Planet, Healthy People. And yang terakhir ada Tech for Wellness, Equity for All. Nah, tadi seperti yang speaker kita sebelumnya sudah bilang, kalian udah bilang, kita harus lihat nih, apa sih tema-tema yang dikasih sama tim Code Force, supaya apa saat nanti eh, teman-teman punya ide, mencari ide, terus mengimplementasikan idenya teman-teman, menjelaskan juga idenya, itu tidak apa ya, bisa dibilang bisa mengkerucut lebih dalam lagi. Tuh. Nah, apa aja sih yang teman-teman bisa bikin untuk yang track satu dulu nih, yang tadi. Untuk yang track satu, teman-teman bisa bikin AI and Machine Learning Project, bisa bikin hardware-based project, bisa bikin games, dan yang terakhir ada 3D and XR project juga. Mungkin teman-teman mau bikin uh, AI and Machine Learning Project seperti yang sudah dibikin sama Kak Aletea, boleh banget. Atau mungkin yang ada gamesnya, kayak kalian tadi, itu juga boleh juga. Gitu ya. Tapi yang penting tidak keluar dari subtema atau tema yang ada. Tuh. Nah, untuk timelinenya seperti apa sih? Jadi saat ini Codeverse 7.0 sudah buka registrationnya ya, baik untuk track 1 maupun track 2. Nah, untuk teman-teman yang milih track 1 nih, jangan lupa submit untuk project kalian itu terakhir di tanggal 15 Maret 2026. Tapi ingat, jangan sampai mepet ya, karena kenapa? Takutnya nanti entah itu ada bug atau mungkin ada yang eh, kurang gitu sebagai contoh. Ternyata eh, projectnya ada bug nih, tapi udah tanggal 15 Maret. Aduh kan mepet banget ya. Nah, berarti untuk persiapan ya sebelum tanggal 15 Maret ini. Terus kita akan ada online selection di tanggal 4 April. Nah, nanti dari online selection ini kita bisa lihat nih siapa yang akan masuk ke regional round atau mungkin gugur di online selection. Ini untuk khusus track 1 ya. Dan nanti yang track 2 akan mulai bergabung di regional round. Kayak gitu. Dan nanti setelah dari regional round akan lanjut ke mana? Akan lanjut ke global round di tanggal 16 sampai 17 Mei. Nah, regional round-nya di mana sih, Miss? Regional round-nya itu nanti di tanggal 11 April 2026 akan dilaksanakan di beberapa center Kode Kido. Gitu. Untuk global round-nya di mana? Global round-nya atau national round-nya itu nggak usah jauh-jauh nih Kidos nih. Nggak usah sampai ke luar negeri. Nanti akan diadakan di Alam Sutra. Oke, kita lanjut. Sini.
Miss,
Ya.
kalau untuk track 2 gimana dong? Kan track 1 itu kan harus ini dulu.
Mm-mm.
Seperti kayak nanti bikin gamenya gitu. Nah, kalau untuk track 2-nya itu submitnya kayak gimana?
Oke, nah Kenneth pas banget Miss juga mau jelasin track 2 nih. Kenneth pas banget nih nanya ya. Oke, untuk track 2 tadi kan Miss sempat bilang kalau track 2 itu lebih menggunakan robot QWERTY ya untuk mengerjakan challenge nih. Mungkin ada yang lihat di sini di layar Miss ada beberapa challenge yang tersedia. Nah, nanti untuk memprogram robotnya itu kan tetap harus pakai PictoBlox. Ya kan, otomatis Kenneth pun nanti atau teman-teman yang lain ikut track 2 itu kan harus membuat codingannya di PictoBlox-nya itu, ya kan? Nah, itu yang nanti akan disubmit untuk codingannya. Oke? Jadi untuk yang track 2 nggak usah bikin yang tadi, yang kayak PPT atau website itu tidak. Jadi lebih ke codingannya aja. Nah, siapa aja sih yang bisa participate? Kita ada age groupnya di sini, ada 3 kategori age group. Itu ada elementary, junior, and senior. Di sini udah bisa kelihatan. Kalau misalkan teman-teman yang umurnya dari 7 sampai 10 tahun, nanti masuknya ke elementary ya. Terus yang 11 sampai 14 tahun umurnya nanti masuk ke junior. Dan yang 15 sampai 18 tahun nanti masuknya ke senior. Miss, aku nggak mau sendiri nih ikut kompetisinya. Bisa nggak bareng teman? Bisa ya. Untuk yang track 1 maupun track 2, kita misalkan mau bareng temennya nih, itu bisa langsung ikut secara tim. Jadi timnya itu bisa 1 sampai 3 murid atau 3 anggota dengan 1 mentor. Oke, kita lanjut. Oke, how to participate. Yang pertama pastinya harus registrasi dulu. Registrasinya di mana? Di bit.ly/trackcdv7. Nanti akan dikirimkan juga ya di chat box-nya. Oke, ini untuk registrasinya. Nah, setelah ini kita akan ada sesi Q&A sama Kak Alethea sama kalian nih. Jadi teman-teman kalau misalkan ada yang punya pertanyaan lebih lanjut, boleh banget langsung kirim di chat box-nya. Oke. Atau mau ada yang langsung on mic, open mic itu bisa langsung ini aja raise hand ya, nanti Miss bantu. Silahkan. Yang mau tanya, silahkan ya langsung mau tanya ke Miss, mau tanya ke Kak Aletea atau Kak Lian juga boleh. Terus jangan lupa ya, saat nanti eh, mau daftar pakai kode referralnya. Oke, Kenneth. Hai Kenneth, Kenneth raise hand nih. Ada
Halo,
pertanyaan apa,
ya,
Kenneth?
gini, nanti kan untuk track 2-nya itu, kan pertama kita mau, apa ya, eh, kan seperti di track pertama itu kan kita bakal kayak bikin app-nya, nanti ada seleksinya baru kan, apa, nasional apa gitu, baru global. Nah, dengan track 2 itu sama gak?
Oke, kalau untuk track 2 tadi, Kenneth dari pertanyaannya gini ya. Kalau track 1 ada beberapa tahap, kalau track 2 gimana gitu ya?
Iya.
Oke, kalau misalkan untuk track 1 tadi kan Kenneth udah tahu ada beberapa tahap. Kalau track 2 nanti akan ada di tahap regional dulu. Kenneth. Gitu, tahap regional baru nanti ke nasional atau global round gitu. Karena kenapa sih kok track 1 tahapnya banyak banget, sedangkan track 2 tahapnya cuma dikit? Karena kenapa? Kalau track 1 itu kan benar-benar eh, bikin project segala macam. Nah, kalau misalkan nggak ada beberapa tahap, nanti bingung nentuin pemenangnya, ya kan? Kalau kebanyakan yang bikin project. Kalau track 2 Miss sama Mister yang nanti akan menilai atau juri yang akan menilai bisa langsung lihat nih seperti apa sih gitu dari peserta track 2 strateginya, terus juga gimana cara mengoperasikan robotnya dan lain-lain.
Jadi
Itulah
nggak ada
kenapa
kayak seleksinya gitu, Miss.
seleksinya nanti ada di regional round-nya, Kena. Gitu. Oke?
Ya, terima kasih ya.
Iya, Kena. Sama-sama.
Ya,
Oke. Kalian nih ada pertanyaan di chat box. So a simple idea can be a big idea for a win in Code 4, ya.
Nah, buat jawab pertanyaannya tadi kalau nggak salah yang ask this question to Georgie, the answer is yes. A simple idea, even though may sometimes can sound a bit weird, it can still be a big idea for a win in Codeover. And I actually have another proof that even though an idea might sound simple, but it can actually be a really great idea for a project yang can create a really meaningful purpose. Aku izin mau share lagi nih Kak. Ada satu pengalaman lomba aku, which is my second coding competition. Kalau yang pertama kan Codeover 6.0 nih. My second coding competition was actually a hackathon. So maybe for friends yang mungkin this is the first time you guys hear hackathon, it's basically like a marathon, but in the marathon you don't run, but you create a coding project because in a hackathon, you guys will have time limit to make a project, and you guys have to also, similar to Codeover, you have to present your project to the panel of judges. So, aku mau sharing dikit about another project that I have made, and this project is called Bernilai. So maybe it sounds like, bernilai is a really simple phrase, but what's the idea behind this application? So guys, actually, the idea of this application that me and three of my other friends made was because at that time, after the holidays, we went back to school, right? And then we noticed that our school's lost and found cabinet was filled with items that no longer have owners. Can you imagine if you see a lot of, let's say, a lot of books, a lot of water bottles, and a lot of, let's say, a lot of costumes being left and nobody wants to pick them up. And maybe you guys will think like, oh, these items are not broken. They can still be used, but why aren't we using it properly, or why don't they have owners? That's why we create this application. The application is basically here. It's basically an application where you can submit and you can send the lost and found items that you might have at your school or maybe at your home to us, and then we will deliver these lost and found items to the people in need. For example, you want to send it to the nursing home, you can do that. If you want to send it to, let's say, Panti Asuhan, you can also do that. So the main purpose is to not let these items that are still in good condition be left out and being thrown into landfills. Because imagine if you throw things that are still useful, but then it doesn't have any owner, then our application here is here to help solve this issue of not of the of on how to like dispose this lost and found idea and this lost and found items properly. So yes, answering the question from Georgie, guys, even really simple idea, even a really maybe a really nyeleneh or maybe a really cheesy idea can sometimes be a really good way on solving a real problem in society. So if you guys thought of any idea, you can of course keep that in mind, and you can also don't forget to talk with your mentor, because seperti yang Miss Amanda bilang, you guys will have a mentor that will guide you in making this Codiover project. You can always consult to your teacher, to your mentor about whether this idea is a good, suitable idea for the project.
But I don't
So
have a mentor.
hopefully you guys can make it.
Oke, kita lanjut. Thank you kalian ya untuk
But I don't
penjelasannya.
have a mentor.
Oke, Kyle. Oke, about mentors. Oke, misalkan jelasin sedikit nih tentang mentors ya. Mentor itu apakah harus mungkin teachers atau dan lain-lain gitu. Mentor itu bisa mungkin dari teacher kode kido kalian, itu coach kalian di kode kido, atau mungkin teachers kalian di sekolah, kalau misalkan yang mendaftar via sekolah ya, gitu. Atau mungkin sebagai contoh, ada juga salah satu peserta tahun lalu, mentorsnya adalah maminya sendiri, gitu. Jadi mentors itu siapa? Siapa aja sih sebenarnya? Mentors itu bisa dari teachers atau dari orang terdekat kalian sendiri gitu. Tugasnya mentor itu ngapain sebenarnya? Tugasnya mentor selain untuk membimbing kalian, entah itu mungkin dari cara kalian presentasi, cara kalian untuk mencari ide dan lain-lain, ataupun kalau misalkan sebagai contoh mentor kalian adalah teachers kalian di Kode Kido atau mungkin di sekolah, itu bisa bantu juga nih untuk sebagai contoh mencari codingan tertentu atau dan lain-lain gitu. Jadi mentor itu bisa siapa aja kok, ya. Jadi jangan sampai mikir oh harus ada mentor. Mentornya udah pasti harus yang misalkan sebagai contoh dari teacher kode kido. Enggak harus teacher kode kido juga. Mungkin dari teacher di sekolah juga boleh. Oke, kalian bisa cari mentorsnya juga nih. Oke, nah, Miss mau lanjut. Kalau saat membuat produk, buat track pertama, jika ada memiliki kemiripan hasil produk, itu ada dampak dalam sisi penilaian enggak sih sebenarnya? Oke, untuk penilaian, mungkin misalkan bahas singkat aja, karena nanti kita akan tetap ada penjelasan lebih lanjut terkait penilaian ya, di sesi webinar kita berikutnya. Kalau untuk penilaian, itu nggak cuma dari produk yang kalian buat aja kok untuk yang track 1 ya. Itu penilaian bisa dari contoh, mungkin pembaruan, bisa dibilang kebaruan ide, terus juga bagaimana kalian mempresentasikan produk kalian, kayak gitu. Terus juga seberapa rumit sih coding yang digunakan, gitu. Plus juga ada satu yang harus diperhatikan juga nih, yaitu apakah codingnya atau produk kalian itu ada bug atau enggak. Nah, itulah kenapa Miss dan teman-teman Miss sebelumnya di webinar-webinar sebelumnya selalu bilang daftar secepatnya supaya kalian bisa prepare lebih bisa ada waktu prepare lebih lama gitu. Jangan daftar mepet-mepet. Karena kenapa? Takutnya yang paling gampang adalah yang tadi Miss bilang ada penilaian terkait produk, nggak cuma keaslian atau kayak fungsinya sama sama produk yang contoh ya, produk peserta satu sama dua sama. Nanti ngurangin nilai nggak? Bisa berpengaruh ke nilai, tapi masih banyak faktor yang akan dinilai sama pihak juri gitu. Nah, lanjut. Oke, dari Sonia ini ada apakah harus ada pembimbingnya, Miss? Ya, untuk mentor ada ya Sonia ya, harus ada. Yang tadi Miss bilang mentor itu nggak harus dari teacher coding atau teacher IT. Oke, mentor itu lebih di sini untuk membimbing kalian, membimbing teman-teman supaya nggak lupa di juga nih. Kan kita ada timelinenya ya, timeline submission dan lain-lain untuk apa ya, memperhatikan progres kalian sudah sampai mana. Itulah tugas mentor atau pembimbing. Gitu. Oke, apakah ada eh, pertanyaan lagi? Georgie, advice untuk track 2 ya. Oke, kalau untuk advice track 2 mungkin kita akan, Miss nggak akan bahas banyak untuk track 2 karena kenapa? Untuk track 2 mungkin lebih baik teacher yang menjelaskan ya, karena track 2 itu lebih ke strategi dan juga latihan gitu. Jadi untuk Georgie, advice untuk Georgie sebenarnya gampang sih Georgie. Yang pertama, kuasain dulu terkait robotnya. Oke, Georgie harus tahu juga nih, gimana sih cara robotnya jalan dan lain-lain. Terus juga banyakin latihan gitu. Georgie kalau misalkan mau eh, penasaran lebih lanjut terkait track 2, terus nanti mau tahu apa aja sih tips and triknya, bisa ikut ke webinar kita selanjutnya. Nanti kita akan bahas terkait track 2 lebih lanjut. Oke. Alvaro, can you give me a good idea? Oke, Kak Alet ya mungkin bisa eh, dijelaskan nih.
So for the one in GBBot, I actually had a problem with my friend, a little disagreement. And then I decided to make it an idea. So that's why it's about like how to be a good friend and how to make friends. That's basically GBBot.
Oke, Kak Alet ya. Nih, Kak Alet ya juga bilang, look around and reflect on your life ya. Tuh, untuk track 1. Untuk share ide, nggak harus yang susah-susah kok. Bisa pakai cara yang Kak Alet ya. Look around and reflect on your life. Oke. Oke, selanjutnya, can we upgrade code for previous code? Untuk melakukan upgrade itu boleh, tapi ya jangan sampai upgrade-nya hanya sebagai contoh sebelumnya bikin games. Terus yang sebelumnya cuma kalau misalkan gamesnya kalah game over selesai gitu. Terus sekarang ditambahin poin. Ya gitu ya, upgrade-nya harusnya oke banget dong otomatis gitu. Dan yang pastinya untuk eh, judul atau mungkin nama proyeknya jangan sama ya. Misalnya sih jangan sama gitu. Harus ada perbedaan juga otomatis ya. Oke, apakah ada yang mau ditanya lagi dari teman-teman? Mumpung ada kalian sama Kak Aletea di sini.
Pak,
Kenapa, Kena?
berarti untuk track 2 itu kita nggak usah ngapain.
Untuk track 2, kalau untuk track 2, Kena dan teman-teman yang ikut track 2, nanti lebih ke saranin lebih banyak latihan ke robotnya. Gimana sih operasiin si robotnya itu, bikin coding yang bisa dibilang paling efektif untuk robot itu supaya bisa eh nyelesain challenge yang ada. Jadi kalau track 2 nanti akan ada beberapa challenge nih yang harus teman-teman selesaiin dalam waktu tertentu. Nah, teman-teman di sini akan dilatih nih, gimana sih strategi yang teman-teman bikin supaya challenge-nya itu bisa terselesaikan dalam waktu yang ada. Gitu, jangan sampai waktunya habis duluan di challenge, baru challenge awal waktunya habis gitu. Nah, teman-teman harus bikin strateginya nih gitu. Dan juga ada beberapa peraturan lainnya. Nah, untuk khusus track 2, Miss kasih bocoran ya. Nanti webinar selanjutnya, Miss lupa, kayaknya harusnya di Desember atau Januari ya, Miss Nisa ya. Nanti kita akan ada eh, webinar atau workshop mungkin ya, bisa kita bilang, untuk track 2. Jadi teman-teman yang penasaran untuk track 2 bisa ikut di webinar kita selanjutnya. Itu nanti di webinar selanjutnya akan dijelasin lebih rinci terkait track 2. Oke. Apakah judul juga berpengaruh sama nilai? Untuk judul, apakah berpengaruh? Sebenarnya untuk judul tidak berpengaruh sih. Lebih ke, eh, akan melihat lebih ke produk. Dan yang tadi, produk, presentation, terus juga terkait kebaruan idenya. Tempatnya di mana? Oke, Zulfa, tempat apa nih? Tempat buat regional atau buat nasional dan global? Kalau untuk regional nanti eh akan ada di center kode kido ya, beberapa center kode kido mungkin, atau misalkan sebagai contoh di Jakarta kita akan ngumpul nih di salah satu center kode kido, mungkin di Jakarta Barat di Kepaduri atau gimana gitu, atau yang Bekasi kumpul di center Bekasi kayak gitu. Tapi kalau untuk yang nanti global dan nasional akan di Alam Sutra ya. Oke, Miss track 1 fokus skill apa dan track 2 fokus skill apa? Miss mau lempar deh kalau pertanyaan terkait track 1 ke kalian sama Kak Aletea nih. Oke, kalian sama Kak Aletea, menurut kalian sama Kak Aletea, skill apa sih yang harus difokusin nih buat track 1?
Kalau dari aku sendiri, in my opinion, track 1 focus a lot on your creativity and also critical thinking. Where does creativity play a big role in this track? Because you're asked to make a project out of an idea to solve something that's something or a problem in this world or in the society, right? So the creativity here means that you have to figure out ways outside of the box to solve a problem, but with a twist. And this twist is to incorporate AI, incorporate machine learning, and incorporate your own creativity in the project. That's why I think creativity is really important in this project. You can, of course, look around you. You can also consult with your mentor, and etc. And for critical thinking, why do you need critical thinking? Because in the development process, you will be coding. When you want to code, you have to know what is the steps of doing a certain argument, or maybe steps into completing a certain button, or maybe the function of a button, a function of a page, and etc. So the critical thinking here plays an important role, because if you want to code something, you have to know what's part of the code that I need to define well. For example, I want a button that can, for example, show a lot of cat pictures. Then you have to program the button so that when you click it, it will show cat pictures. Or if you don't click it, it won't show anything. It's something like that. Kalau dari Aletia, what do you think, Aletia?
The idea, ooh, let me think. I think for track 1, it focuses on the idea, and there's something called as there's no new idea. But with the idea that we found, we have to add a little things to it. For example, in my project last year, I made it about an AI chatbot. But of course, there are many AI chatbots in the world, right? So I added a little twist with this, which is the friendship blueprint, which teaches you how to be a good friend. and also the challenges where it says, today you have to do this. For example, compliment a friend. That's one of the challenges of the game, and it gives you cute points like kindness points and also listening and support points. That really helps with how to be a good friend. And I hope, and then, excuse me, and I believe that also creativity runs in track one because it shows that how much your idea can reach and also explain it to the judges. So in short, I think the most important skill in track one is definitely your idea, how you add a twist to it, and how you explain the idea to the judges. That's my opinion on what skills are important in track one.
Oke, thank you kalian sama Kak Letea. Nah, itu untuk track 1 ya. Apa aja sih yang udah dijelasin nih sama kalian, sama Kak Letea? Apa aja sih yang harus difokusin buat track 1? Nah, Miss sekarang mau coba jawab buat yang track 2. Apa yang harus difokusin? Yang tadi Miss udah bilang berkali-kali, yang pastinya strategi dan juga latihan. Itu dua itu penting ya untuk track 2. Oke, lanjut. Can you change your track or once you register? Is it's permanent? Iya, kita nggak bisa ganti tracknya ya teman-teman ya. Jadi kalau misalkan udah registrasi, itu sudah permanen. Oke, jadi makanya untuk yang teman-teman belum registrasi, harus dipikirin benar-benar nih. Sebenarnya teman-teman mau yang track 1 atau track 2 sih? Gitu. Terus juga yang selanjutnya ada pertanyaan, apakah presentasinya harus in English? Yap, untuk presentasinya nanti akan full dalam bahasa Inggris. Karena kenapa? Selain nanti akan ada eh, presentasi, kalau misalkan sudah lanjut nih ke tahap di yang global atau nasional gitu. Untuk yang jurinya itu nanti bisa dijadi ada juri dari luar negeri gitu. Kan nggak mungkin kalau misalkan kita presentasi dalam bahasa Indonesia, nanti tim juri yang dari luar negeri gimana untuk apa namanya untuk mengertinya. Oke, Ray ada raise hand. Kenapa Ray? Ada yang mau ditanyakan?
Ini pemilihan kelompoknya sesuai kelas masing kayak kelas 6 dengan kelas 6 atau kelas 4, 5, 6 kayak beda-beda masing kelas.
Oke, untuk yang age groupnya ya. Oke, untuk age groupnya itu tadi yang sudah info. Jadi untuk age group itu terbagi dari 3 age group. Coba Miss ini dulu deh. Oke, ini terbagi dari 3 age group ya teman-teman ya. Elementary, junior, sama senior. Nah, jadi yang dilihat itu bukan dari kelas kalian di sekolah atau grade kalian. Tapi yang dilihat itu dari umur ya. Gitu. Sebagai contoh misalkan aku masih SD tapi umur aku udah 12 tahun. Ya berarti nanti teman-teman masuknya ke yang junior. Apakah menjawab, Rey? Halo, Rey. Miss harap itu menjawab ya, Rey ya. Oke, karena waktunya apa namanya sudah Miss lihat waktunya udah tinggal 5 menit lagi nih dari setengah 11. Sudah 10.25. Mungkin kita cukupkan ya, teman-teman ya, untuk hari ini. Untuk teman-teman yang punya pertanyaan lebih lanjut, nantinya bisa banget nih. Di sini saya mungkin boleh info di chat box juga nih untuk info session kita. Kalau teman-teman punya pertanyaan lebih lanjut, jadi Kode Kido itu membuka dan tim Kode For itu membuka info session. Jadi info sessionnya itu kapan aja sih sebenarnya? Info sessionnya itu ada setiap di hari Senin, Rabu, dan Sabtu. Dan teman-teman nanti caranya gimana buat masuk ke info sessionnya? Bisa langsung masuk ke eh, Zoom yang nanti akan diinfokan sama Miss Nisa. Miss Nisa jangan lupa dikirim di ini ya Miss ya, di chat box, biar teman-teman bisa pada tahu nih kapan aja. Nah, itu information session ya. Nanti teman-teman kalau misalkan ada yang punya pertanyaan lebih lanjut, bisa langsung masuk ke info sessionnya. Nanti ada Miss atau Mister yang dari Kode Kido bisa bantu jawab di sana. Mungkin pertanyaan terkait registrasi, pertanyaan terkait lomba, itu bisa langsung ke sana. Jam-jamnya juga ada. Jadi untuk Senin dan Rabu, kita standby di jam 4 sampai 4.20, hanya 20 menit.
Jadi,
Dan
Miss,
Sabtu kita di setengah 11 sampai 10.50.
Miss.
Oke.
Jadi kalau mentor saya katanya bisa bayar untuk mentor kan?
Untuk kelas preparation-nya mungkin Kak? Preparation class maksudnya?
Kayak mentornya bisa dibayar gitu.
Oke, kalau untuk mentor gitu ya. Kalau misalkan sebagai contoh, Kyle ikut ini nggak? Ikut kelas pendampingan nggak? Miss mau tanya dulu. Kalau Kyle,
Ya,
Kyle, do you join the preparation class?
no.
No, okay. So you can choose
Aku
your
saya joinnya di Coding Next.
Oh, it's okay if you want to choose one of your teachers at at your coding course to be your mentor. It's okay, Kyle.
Masalahnya mentornya juga gak tahu Pictoblox.
Oke. Oke, kalau misalkan itu mungkin lebih enak nanti Kyle ke info session ya Kyle ya. Biar nanti bisa dijelasin lebih lanjut sama Miss yang ada di sana. Oke, karena nanti ada Missnya yang bisa jelasin lebih lanjut juga terkait Pictoblox. Oke, Kyle?
Hehehe.
Oke, nanti Miss sama Miss Nisa tunggu ya di info session.
Ya.
Oke, oke mungkin kita cukupkan untuk hari ini. Sebelumnya, thank you untuk Kak Aletea dan Kak Lian udah sharing banyak banget nih ke teman-teman semua. Ke Miss juga pastinya, gitu kan. Dan Miss harap untuk info webinar hari ini atau sesi webinar hari ini bisa bermanfaat untuk semua ya. Sebelum kita eh, selesai, Miss, coba dong Miss mau foto-foto dulu dong untuk dokumentasi. Teman-teman yang bisa on cam bisa langsung on cam ya. Biar nanti dibantu oleh Miss Nisa untuk dokumentasi. Oke, Miss Nisa, silakan Miss.
Miss, sorry boleh dari Miss kah? Saya juga nanti akan foto.
Oh, oke. Oke. Nah, yang mau on cam, ayo on cam Miss tungguin dulu. Oke, ready ya semua ya. Oke. Oke, nggak apa-apa kalau ada yang kameranya lagi error, it's okay. Oke, Miss, di sini ada tiga halaman. Satu dulu ya. Satu, dua, tiga. Oke, next. Sorry. Oke, satu lagi. Oke, dua lagi. Satu, dua, tiga. Oke, satu lagi terakhir. Banyak ya? Oke, satu lagi terakhir. Satu, dua, tiga. Nice. Oke, thank you semuanya yang udah hadir hari ini. Thank you Kidos. Dan thank you Mama Mendat yang sudah sempetin juga hadir hari ini. Dan pastinya give applause dulu untuk kalian sama Kak Alete yang udah jadi amazing speaker kita hari ini. Thank you kalian dan Kak Alete ya. Sukses terus ya untuk perjalanan sekolahnya dan yang pasti perjalanan codingnya. Oke. Okay, see you on the next webinar. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Have a nice weekend.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye, Kenneth.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a nice weekend ya.
Bye bye.